Well, folks, tonight's Raw, I thought was okay. I thought it was a good post-Elimination Chamber edition of Monday Night Raw. However, despite some of the great matches we had, and there were some good matches tonight, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong about that. There were some good matches. There were some good promo segments. There were some good matches. But the one thing that's going to come out of this tonight is the one thing people are going to be talking about more in this coming week, as well as probably in the next few weeks and whatever, leading into WrestleMania itself, is the fact that after so long, we finally got something that many in the IWC and the YWC have been crying about, have been whining about, have been demanding, have been asking for, and like I said, whining and bitching and complaining about. And tonight you finally got it, and yet you still have people bitching and complaining. And what is that? You finally got this belt. This belt, the spinner belt, or the Cena belt, or the Ruthless Aggression Era belt, whatever you want to call it. I call it the Cena belt, spinner belt, Ruthless Aggression Era belt. We finally get something. You finally get this belt after 10 long, well, not 10 long years, but actually 8 long years, just about 8 long years. You finally get this you finally get this put to the side. You finally get this, if you will, shelved. And for what? For the championship that when you click on the link down below, you will see. And if you want to watch highlights from Raw, tune into YouTube. There's people that have got pictures of it. And yet, people still bitch and complain about this. And this is a belt that was being talked about all throughout last year. Even when CM Punk was still a babyface, people were talking about it. And why? Because it was the belt of change. And now why do people complain about it now? I'll tell you why. Because of the fact that it's got this logo smack dab right in the middle. It's got the WWE logo right smack filling up the entire middle. You got a black background, and your side belt and your side plates, if you will, your side plates have the Brahma Bull on. Well, the replica belt and essentially the toy belt, if you will, that will be sold are going to have the W sign on the side of them. Yeah, they're going to have the W logo, the WWE logo on the side with a global, kind of like with a globe behind it, if you will. Again, look at the links below, check it out yourself. But the thing is, you have people bitching and complaining about this, and this is obviously going to be the only thing they talk about from Raw. They come out of Raw tonight. You're not going to hear people talking about the great singles match between Jack Swagger and Daniel Bryan, a great matchup, no doubt about it. You're not going to hear people talking about the decent Del Rio Ziggler match, which kind of hinted at the fact that eventually Ziggler is going to cash in and become the world's heavyweight champion. You're not going to have people talking about that. You're not going to have people talking about how well the WWE is doing exactly what TNA should be doing with Aces and Eights. How well WWE is doing a better job with the Shield than what TNA is doing with Aces and Eights. Because even for the third, for on screen, the third official match, they won. They're 3-0. They're undefeated. And this is something that I mentioned in my video where I talked about, where I asked the question, who's doing a better job? Who's doing a fucking better job? And you know what? This just proves tonight, as well as Elimination Chamber on Sunday, just proves that WWE is doing what TNA should do, and that's why they're doing a better job with the Shield than TNA's doing with Aces and Eights. And yet, you're not going to have people talking about that. Oh, no, you're not going to have people talking about that. You're not going to have people talking about a great matchup between Randy Orton and Kane, which we have seen before, but still was decent. You're not going to have them talking about the teasing of a Kane-Daniel Bryan champion versus champion match at Mania. You're not going to have them talking about the 6-person tag, which for the first time in I don't know how long, you had a freaking diva do a Hurricane Rana on a superstar, which was Naomi doing a Hurricane Rana on Epico. And once again, still proving that she is the diva that they need to focus their division on, along with Caitlyn and Tamina. And Natalya as well. But still, instead of doing that, instead of talking about that, and talking about the possibility of Vince McMahon, of the McMahon-Heyman fight next week, which obviously is going to lead to Triple H coming out and being the one that fights Heyman, and which will lead to Triple H Lesnar 2. Instead of talking about the CM Punk John Cena promo, which is going to lead into the main event match next week, where the winner is going to face The Rock, which eventually is going to either continue to keep us focused with, or continue to keep the Cena and Rock match intact, or it's going to turn into a triple threat match because of what happens next week. Instead of talking all about that, instead you're going to have people talking about the new title bout being revealed. You're going to have people talking about the new championship being revealed and how they dislike it. I mean, they point out that it doesn't look like a championship. Somebody said it looks like a freaking a championship ring, if you will. I mean, what are you guys going to do next? Are you going to complain? Are you going to bitch and complain if Cena wins the championship at Mania, keeps that new title, but instead puts his hustle, loyalty, respect on the side? Are you guys going to complain about that? Are you going to complain if CM Punk, if it turns into a triple threat, if CM Punk wins it and he puts his logo, his best in the world logo on there? Are you guys going to complain about that? I just don't see what the problem is. Yes, it's a change. Yes, it's a change. Yes, it's different. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. It's different. It's a change. But it's a change you've been bitching and complaining about for years. I mean, when they brought this Intercontinental Championship onto the scene during the Attitude Era, did you guys bitch and complain about that? No. Did you bitch and complain when they brought back the classic title with the white strap? No, you didn't. So why the bitching and complaining about this? I don't understand that. I mean, again, did you bitch and complain when this came around? No. Did you bitch and complain when they brought back the classic? No. Did you bitch and complain when they changed this and the SmackDown titles as well? Oh, into what you call the big penny belts, if you will? Did you bitch and complain about that? Yes, you did. But have you continued to bitch and complain about it? No. Because you've learned to deal with it. Did you bitch and complain when they traded this thing in for the Attitude Era Championship? Redesigned it into that Attitude Era, that more circular Attitude Era Championship? Did you bitch and complain about that? Did you bitch and complain when they changed it into the Undisputed title? Huh? Did you bitch and complain about that? No, you didn't. You see, the thing is, folks, no matter what changes you're going to get, there's no satisfying people. I mean, it's just like the Sonic fan base. You know, we've got numerous changes coming up with certain characters and storylines and whatever, and you know, despite the fact that I, along with a lot of other people, are in the middle and are pretty much waiting before we cast judgment to see what's going to happen, you have people bitching and complaining about this and that. You have people bitching and complaining about those that don't like what's going on. You have people bitching and complaining of what's going on. They don't like it in the writer. You got this and that. And yet, when the dust settles and the changes occur, yeah, they're going to have some bitching and complaining for a while, but then it just dies out. It's kind of like with YouTube. When YouTube has brought out its new layouts, its new changes, during its times when it does maintenance, every time it brings out its new changes, its new looks, people have bitched and complained, but yet in the end, when it's all said and done, they deal with it. They don't bitch and complain anymore. So why bitch and complain about this being changed to what it is? You know what's going to happen in my opinion? Here's what's going to happen. I think WWE is going to take a page out of TNA's book, believe it or not. And if, let's say, Cena wins the championship, they're going to let Cena bring this back to represent him. And then let's say they give the championship to, say, CM Punk again, or they give it to Sheamus or Ryback. Then yeah, they'll probably bring the championship that got introduced tonight on Raw. The point is it doesn't help to bitch and complain because things change. Sometimes it's a change for the better, and sometimes it's a change for the worse. You just gotta wait and see how much of an effect it's going to have, and whether the fan base and critics are going to enjoy the new belt or not. And if the changes with the new belt on screen with whoever holds it is just the side belts that are getting changed into that individual's logo that represents them, then so be it. You know, so be it. It's not going to matter, folks. It's not going to matter whatsoever. I understand a lot of people were hoping for this belt to show back up. I understand that. But there's a problem there. You have World on here. And right now in WWE, this is the World belt. This here's your World title. This is the only one right now that says World. If they're going to have a WWE Championship, it can't say World in their opinion. It's got to say WWE. Again, I understand people are upset about this. But thankfully, there are people out there like the Off the Ropes Show. Like the Wrestling Gurus. Like the British Fist, like the Tree of Woe maybe. That are happy about this. Hell, I'm pretty sure the Brad of the Brad Rules is happy about this. But still, I understand there are going to be people that are going to bitch and complain. I get that. But you know what? You have to learn to adapt. You have to learn to live with it. Are there going to be fans of the Sonic fan base that are going to be happy with Sally's redesign and the other characters' redesigns being Segified and all that from Sad AM? Of course not. But are they going to live with it down the line? Are they going to just, bitch and complain all the time? Yeah, they might bitch and complain at first, like they're doing now, but when the dust settles, will they continue to bitch and complain? No, because it will grow on them. They'll learn to deal with it. Because they will always have the memories of the original design, and who knows, maybe the original designs will come back. Like I've already said, I feel this is going to be coming back. So anyway, I'm going to continue this. I got to stop right now. I got to continue this in a little bit.